understanding of the theme, the way to power ruling oneself to serve others, I noticed a common trope. And this is that we as individuals and we as a community have become unfamiliar with these concepts. We have become unfamiliar with what does it mean to be a leader? What does true leadership look like? How do we rule ourselves? How do we serve others? And I'd argue that we become so unfamiliar from these topics because we lack prophetic examples in our time. I mean, just look at who the people of this country elected to be their leaders for the past 8 years. You have the first person who knew what he was saying. Just what he was saying was just absolutely outrageous. And now we have someone who doesn't know what he's saying whatsoever. All right? We as an ummah, we as a body, we as a community need to overcome this. Because this affects all of us, individually as well as communally. Just as we're all affected by the tragic events that are happening most recently in Turkey and in Sham, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them all ease and afiyah, say ameen. Just as the Prophet ﷺ has said, that the ummah is like a body. When one part of it is in pain, the rest of the body feels that pain. The rest of the body feels that pain. Do we not see the consequences to the misuse of leadership? We're facing hardships everywhere. In Palestine, in Somalia, in Kashmir, and even hardships right here in this country. If we want to see a change in our predicament, then we must learn to rule ourselves. For the Prophet ﷺ says what? That the condition of a people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not change the condition of a people until what? Until they change the condition within themselves. We need to ask ourselves, how is my condition with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What is my state with my Lord, Rabbil Alameen? We need to start asking ourselves the right questions. Right? How much Quran am I reading daily? Because we know that there's many different forms of jihad. Unfortunately, the West has admitted a false perception of what jihad really is. But we know as Muslims that there's many different forms of jihad. The highest being jihadat an-nafs, the struggle of ourselves. What our tradition calls tazkiyah, purification of the heart, purification of the soul. Begin asking ourselves the right questions. How much Quran am I implicating into my life? How much of the sunnah am I implicating into my life? Am I doing which is obligatory upon me, my fard ayn? And this is the first step. The next step is to serve. Serve, serve, serve until there's nothing left of service you can do. JFK, a former US president, was once stated to say that the question shouldn't be, what can your country do for you? Rather, ask, what can you do for your country? The question shouldn't be for us, what can my parents do for me? What can my community do for me? What can the masajid do for me? What can the imams do for me? No, the question should be, what can I do for them? How can I serve them? How can I be of service to them? Because ultimately, we become leaders by serving as an example for the people around us. Just as the Prophet ﷺ has said, خَادِمُ الْقَوْمِ سَيْدُهُمْ, that the leader of its people is their servant. We need to take the initiative now. In this month, in this week, in this day. 2023 is our moment. Don't let anything or anyone deter you from becoming righteous, from getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because anything that does is waswasa from shaitan. If your friends start to ridicule you and start to laugh at you and say, oh, you're so cringe, bro. Oh, why are you all spiritual all of a sudden? What does it matter when Allahu Rabbil Alameen is above them? What does it matter what the creation thinks when the Creator is above them? And don't think because we're too young that we're not capable of having substantial impacts in our communities. We are not children. We are young adults. If we see a role that needs to be fulfilled, if we think, man, I wish we had this in our communities. I wish there's a problem right here. I wish, someone was able to serve that. No one's going to come out of nowhere, read your minds, and do it for you. We need to see it and take initiative. We need to become the change that we want to see. And then, inshallah, by the grace of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, we will have a change in our predicament for the better through our devotion, leading by example to serve others. Jazakallahu khairan.